Hi, my name's Andy. So last March, on the first Sunday of lockdown one, a service of communion was broadcast with the Archbishop of Canterbury. But of course, a rule had just been passed that everyone had to work from home. So the Archbishop celebrated communion on a table, kitchen, with Mrs. Archbishop helping out and passing him things. Some people were scandalized. Communion is such a holy act, they said. It is appropriately done in cathedrals and chapels and church buildings, not in kitchens. Some of the people who were scandalized even said that celebrating communion in a kitchen was feminizing the church, but I think that just tells us something about their view. There's something feminine about kitchens. And some implied, at least, that if you wanted to meet with God, you're better off in a very old, rather holy building than you are in your own home or your own kitchen. And I don't know what was in the Archbishop's head, but for me, as I watched it, his choice to use a kitchen table as a holy table filled me with joy. It seemed to say, God isn't only in the thin places, sanctified by centuries of liturgy, but also in the fat places, where chicken biryanis and shepherd's pies are assembled. I'm not telling you that there are no special places now where God is to be found. I'm telling you that every place is a special place. Every bush is a burning bush. Every table is an altar, and every room is holy, if we only notice it. Every ordinary office is the gate of heaven. And if you doubt that that's true, look at a verse from the Gospels. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. It happened when Jesus died. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. This wasn't any old curtain. It was the curtain that fenced off the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple. If you were Gentile, you could go as far as the outer court, but no further. If you were a Jewish woman, you could get a bit further, but not much. If you were a Jewish man, you could get into the area with the sacrifices, but not the holy place. If you were a priest, you could enter the holy place, but not the Holy of Holies, except very occasionally, perhaps only once in a lifetime for the average priest. But then, when Jesus dies, the curtain is ripped. And God says something like this: from now on, everyone is welcome to come in. Jews and Gentiles and men and women and disabled and abled and gay and straight and archbishops and lay people, the disreputable and the upright. As it says in a Methodist song from 300 years ago, come all you no hopers, you jokers and rogues. Come in, the door is open. I bet they repaired the curtain, by the way. I bet they got the top embroiderers in Judea in, and they briefed them that they needed to repair the curtain pronto, because otherwise all sorts of random people might wander in and meet God, and we can't have that. Oh no. And I wouldn't be surprised if some people have tried to repair the curtain to keep you out over the years as well. They almost certainly didn't call it exclusion, but maybe people have made their holy place unsafe for you, or not well enough lit for you, or without a loop system for you, or up 3 steps, or traumatizing. It's not Jesus's fault. Jesus's arms are open wide. It's the fault of the people who sewed the curtain back shut. Powerful men are putting up barriers to keep the no-hopers out and keep Jesus in. But he's always ripping the barriers apart and escaping and coming to be with the no-hopers and jokers and rogues wherever they are. How dare anyone think that they can confine Jesus to one place? So you can pray and know that Jesus is there, closer than breathing, ready to hear. You can ask for forgiveness and know that the Spirit is there like a breeze on your forehead, full of pardon, taking away shame. You can reach out to God for comfort and have no doubt of God's presence and smile, liking you, weeping with you, cheering you on. And by the way, the curtain into the presence of God, which is torn for you now when you need to pray or be forgiven or know God's comfort, that curtain will be torn when you die. Jesus's death turned your death and mine from an enemy to fear into a friend at the torn curtain of gladness. Oh, you don't want to die before your time, and neither do I. But when the time comes, we will not seek death, but we will not fear it. Because the curtain is torn and access to God, immediate access, is guaranteed. On what basis? On the basis of faith in Jesus, who died on that Friday and rose on the 3rd day. So is it access for priests only? No, because the curtain is torn. Access for men only? No, the curtain is torn. Access for Jews only? No, the curtain is torn. Access for people who attend physical church only? No, the curtain is torn. When we say our farewells to you at the crematorium or at the cemetery, you will rest in peace for a while, and then together we will be raised, and together all God's people will walk through the torn curtain to the smiling face of God. One last thing. It may seem a small detail, but I think it matters that the curtain of the temple was torn from top to bottom, not bottom to top. Because it's God who did the tearing, not people. Through the death of Jesus, the one perfect sacrifice, the whole sacrificial system was abolished by God. And all God's people can now come near to God, saying, I'm not bringing a pigeon, I'm not bringing a sheep, but the sacrifice of Jesus has opened the way, and I can come. God, it was your idea, not ours. You tore the curtain from top to bottom. What's there? The presence of Jesus, access to the Father, the Spirit unbound. It is that simple. And if there's a nagging thought in you that says, yeah, but I don't deserve that, please ignore that thought and come on in. You will be giving God great pleasure by coming into the presence. And God will be disappointed because he'll miss you if you hold back and stay outside. Maybe you've got used to not having a place in the room where it happens, a place at the tables of power. As the saying goes, if you haven't got a place at the table, you're probably on the menu. Well, God has torn the curtain from top to bottom and welcomed you to the room where it happens and prepared a seat at the table for you, a seat at the heavenly banquet one day when the world is put to rights, and a seat at the table in the kitchen of God right now, where Jesus invites you to sit and eat.